everyone. Welcome and thanks for joining us today for our session Seller Central 101. My name's Corey and I'm on the Seller University team. Our presenters today are Chase, Emily, and Yaus from the account management team, and they'll be spending the next half hour presenting, and then we'll leave about 30 minutes toward the end or as much time as possible for live Q&A. So for the Q&A, please feel free to add your questions in that same question box functionality throughout the presentation today. So we have a handful of team members that are monitoring this and will respond to those questions either directly to you or we'll save them for live Q&A at the end. And we'll try and cover as many of those questions as possible throughout our time. As far as our agenda goes today, we'll be covering some really important aspects of Seller Central. And that includes notification settings, shipping settings, how to add products and product IDs, and then also managing inventory, products that require approval, and some generalized account health metrics. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Chase, to go ahead and kick us off.
Yeah, thanks, Corey. So let's get started with some areas of Seller Central that every seller should definitely be familiar with right out of the gate. Very first thing I'd advise sellers to do when they begin your selling on Amazon is to review and customize notification settings. You can find your settings by selecting notification preferences under the settings menu in the top right of Seller Central. It's the icon shaped like a gear. From this page, you can update and customize the email addresses and phone numbers that will be used to notify you of orders, buyer messages, returns, and emergency contacts. You can also edit your preferences for the types of notifications you'd like to receive. We recommend adding an email address and phone number to each of these critical fields to ensure you receive important account information and updates in a timely manner. When you click the Edit button, you'll find checkboxes next to each field in the section. Toggling these checkboxes will turn notifications on or off for that specific area. When editing your notification settings, you can also update the SMS and email addresses that notifications will be sent to. We recommend receiving notifications for all relevant order types and ensuring your SMS and email contact information is accurate and up to date. Now that we have our order notifications set up, let's take a look at our shipping settings. If you handle shipping yourself, sometimes known as merchant fulfilled or MFN, FBM, fulfilled by merchant, or self-shipping, you'll want to be sure your shipping settings are customized to preferences and business needs. Shipping settings are located under the settings icon in the top right corner of Seller Central. On the shipping settings page, you can edit existing shipping templates and create new templates. When first getting started as an Amazon seller, you'll want to make some time to configure your shipping settings to your business needs and preferences. Let's look at the shipping settings we can edit. When you open a template to edit, you'll first see your template's name and rate model. One of the first decisions to make for your shipping settings is your shipping rate model. You can choose to charge your customers using either the per item or price banded model. The per item or weight-based model offers shipping rates per item or per pound plus a fixed per shipment charge. The price banded model assigns a shipping rate based on an order's total price. Your template will default to the per item or weight-based model. If you'd like to change models, select Edit on your template and click the button next to Price Banded. After Rate Model, you'll find each shipping option you can provide, along with associated regions and rates. To offer a shipping option, check the box next to its name within the template. Templates also give you the option to provide service to both street addresses and PO boxes. You can add or remove the address type you'd like to provide service to under the address type field. You can also modify the transit time for some shipping methods. Remember, transit time refers to the time from when an order is received by the carrier to when that order is delivered. This period doesn't include handling time. Shipping your inventory out on time is an important factor for keeping your account health in good shape. Orders that are shipped or arrive late can have a negative impact on your account metrics. We'll be discussing account health and metrics in more detail a bit later. Shipping templates also lay out shipping fees, which you can edit to match your costs. Now I'll hand it over to Yaus to talk about adding products.
Thanks, Trace. So now that we have our shipping options set up and ready to go, let's start adding some products. You can find the Add a Product tool by selecting Add a Product under the Inventory tab in Seller Central. From here, you have two main considerations. First, are you adding products one by one or uploading your products in bulk using an inventory file? Secondly, are you adding a product already sold in the Amazon store or a product not currently listed? When you add a product not already sold in the Amazon store, you'll be creating a new listing for that product. If a listing already exists for the product you wish to sell, you will match your offer to the existing listing when you add that product to your inventory. Keep in mind that to match to an existing listing, your product must be an exact match, including brand name, color, size, and quantity. As a best practice, aim to create the most comprehensive product listing possible. This ensures that customers are able to make informed purchases and have all the necessary information to feel confident purchasing your product. This means filling out as many of the product detail information fields as possible. When adding certain products, you may see the Request Approval button. In these cases, you'll need to receive Amazon approval before listing that particular product. And we'll talk more about products requiring approval in a little bit. So let's get started with adding a single product that isn't already sold in the Amazon store. We should note here that to add a single product not currently listed in the Amazon store, you'll probably need a product ID. A product ID is a series of alphanumeric digits used to identify specific products and commonly come in the form of a GTIN, ISBN, and EAN. If you don't have a product ID, you will likely need to apply for a product ID exemption, and we'll talk more about this later. To add a single product not already sold in the Amazon store, click I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon. Next, you'll choose your product category. You can search categories using the search bar up top or browse the list of categories below. After selecting your relevant category, and in some cases subcategory, you'll be asked to provide product details and information. So first you'll find the Vital Info tab. Be sure to activate the More Attributes toggle in the top right to see all available fields. Under this tab, you'll include the product's name, a product ID, and other important information. The product name field will display as the title within the product detail page. Brand name, manufacturer, and other details will appear below any variations as the key info section of a product detail page. Provide product photos under the Images tab. These will display on the left-hand side of the product detail page. Remember, your first image must be on a white background and should be a high-quality picture that shows your product in full. This will be the first image shoppers see when they're searching and browsing. Under Description, you'll want to provide a summary of your product in the field labeled Product Description. This product description displays midway down a product detail page underneath the offer details and above the customer reviews. The next field, Key Product Features, allows you to add bullet points to your product detail page. Click Add More to add more bullet points to your description. These bullet points display underneath the product's key information and above the product's full description on the product detail page. As a best practice, we usually recommend including 3 to 6 concise bullet points for each listing. Because shoppers will see your key product features before they find the product description, it's pretty important to make sure your bullet points are as descriptive and comprehensive as possible. In the keyword section, you can add identifying information to show your product to the most relevant audience. And finally, remember that different categories and subcategories can have different fields when adding new products. Check each section to ensure you've added as much detail as possible. Finally, be sure that you've matched your product to the most relevant product category or subcategory. This will help your product display within relevant Amazon search results. So we mentioned earlier that some products need to request approval before listing. Let's talk a little bit more about that. To uphold Amazon standards for only providing high-quality products to customers, some products require approval before they can be sold by an Amazon seller. Approval can be required on the category, subcategory, and ASIN levels. When attempting to list a product or to list in a category or subcategory that requires approval, you'll click the Request Approval button that appears during the listing process. When you apply, you may be required to provide receipts or invoices for the product, invoices of the product ensuring packaging standards are met, and any certifications or testing documents showing that the product or products meet safety guidelines. Keep in mind that images will likely be rejected if they've been digitally altered or generated. When submitting, be sure to include every page of each relevant document. Providing only the first page or subsection could result in a denied application. Certain brands also require approval before a seller may list their products. To be authorized to sell these products, you'll likely be asked to provide invoices from a valid source of supply, an authorization letter from the brand, and images of the branded product you intend to sell. Be sure to have these details handy before requesting approval to list your product. We also mentioned a product ID when adding our products. Some of the products you want to sell may not have an ID, so let's cover what to do in these situations. As a reminder, product IDs are part of a system of unique identifiers called GTINs, or Global Trade Item Numbers. The most common GTINs include UPCs, ISBNs, EANs, and JANs. In some cases, the products you want to sell won't have an available product ID. Private label or handmade products may not include product IDs. If you make the product yourself or buy them from a brand or manufacturer that doesn't provide a product ID, you may need to apply for an exemption. You may also need to apply if you sell parts that don't have an ID. The same can be true for bundled packs of more than one product. Each size, color, or quantity variation of a product requires their own unique UPC. However, if you do receive UPC exemption, it'll apply to any and all products under your exempted brand. Certain brands are required to have product IDs listed in the Amazon store. Additionally, some brands aren't eligible for product ID exemptions. In other cases, you'll want to purchase a product ID from GS1. GS1 is a global organization that provides industry standard UPC barcodes. Visit gs1.org to learn more. So to apply for GTIN exemption, you'll first select Add a Product from the Inventory tab of Seller Central. On this page, find the section labeled What's a GTIN and then click the Learn More link. Next, scroll down to the section titled How to Request a GTIN exemption. In the sentence that says you can apply for GTIN exemption here, click the Here link. You'll then be brought to the GTIN exemption request page. Once we're here, we can actually apply for the exemption. So first you'll check if your product is eligible for a GTIN exemption. Check eligibility by selecting the proper category for your product. Next, enter the product's brand if applicable. After entering this information, click Check for Eligibility. After you've confirmed that your product is eligible for an exemption, click Continue to submit proof. The proof you submit will be photos of your product showing that the brand name on the product is an exact match to the name entered during the listing process. These photos should show that the brand name is permanently affixed either on the packaging, product, or both. Finally, proof images should also show that the product does not have a GS1 approved barcode available. Now, let's move over to Emily to learn more about managing inventory.
Thanks, Yas. So we've added our inventory and applied for necessary GTIN exemptions. Let's talk about managing your inventory in Seller Central. Let's walk through the Manage Inventory page, located under the Inventory tab in Seller Central. This page lets you search, view, and update your listings. You can also add products and product variations from this page. Product variations are different versions of the same parent product available for purchase on a single product detail page. Variations can include product color, size, and style. When first getting started, we recommend customizing your Manage Inventory page to fit your preferences and business needs. First, click on the Preferences button in the top right of the page. You'll then be taken to the column Display menu. This menu lists all available columns that can be displayed on your Manage Inventory page. Each field has a checkbox next to it. When activated with a blue check, these fields will display on your Manage Inventory page. You can select or deselect fields to customize the view to your preferences. If you use FBA or plan to in the future, we recommend making sure the inbound, unfillable, reserved, and FNSKU fields are active. If you sell or plan to sell to Amazon Business customers, activating the business price field can be helpful as well. Finally, if you plan to use automated pricing, we recommend activating the Your Minimum Price and Your Maximum Price fields as well. Beneath the column Display menu, you'll find other options for customizing your view. You can edit the sort order, location of buttons on the page, as well as the number of results per page in this section. After making any changes on this page, be sure to click the Save Changes button at the bottom of the page. Your Manage Inventory page will now reflect your customization preferences. Aside from browsing through your inventory, the Manage Inventory page also allows you to convert your products to FBA, update their prices, and manage quantities. To update a product's price, click the Edit button on the right-hand side of the product. You'll then be brought to the product's offer details. Here, you can edit an offer's basic info, like the price, quantity, or shipping template. This is also where you can add product variations, compliance info, and product images. Back on the Manage Inventory page, selecting the drop-down arrow on a product's Edit button will also give you options for quick actions. From here, you can manage a product's images, change its fulfillment method to FBA, match a low price, or delete the listing. You can also close listings from this menu. Closing a listing brings it from active to inactive, but it does not delete it from your inventory. Keep in mind that if you close a listing, you will need to manually reactivate it. To avoid this, you can simply change an active listing's quantity to 0. Finally, in the top left-hand corner of the page, you'll find the Bulk Action button. This allows you to act on multiple listings at the same time. Check the box to the right of your listings to enable the Bulk Action button. With one or more listings selected, you'll be able to open the Action drop-down menu and apply your chosen action to each listing that you have selected with a checkbox. While we're monitoring our inventory and sales, there are some other metrics that we're going to want to pay attention to. You'll want to monitor your account health metrics to best understand your performance in the Amazon store. You can find the account health page under the Performance tab in Seller Central. On this page, you'll find metrics measuring your customer service performance, policy compliance, and shipping performance. The Customer Performance section shows your Order Defect Rate, or ODR, which consists of negative feedback, A to Z guarantee claims, and chargeback claims. Using these factors, the ODR measures your ability to provide a good customer experience. When handling fulfillment yourself, you'll want to pay particular attention to your shipping performance metrics. Shipping performance metrics include late shipment rate, or LSR, pre-fulfillment cancellation rate, or CR, valid tracking rate, or VTR, and on-time delivery rate, known as ODR. LSR measures the percentage of orders that confirm shipping after the expected ship date out over both 10 and 30-day periods. You'll want to aim for under 4%, as an LSR over 4% can put your account at risk for suspension. Your CR measures seller canceled orders as a percentage of total orders over a 7-day period. This means that orders canceled by the buyer won't be counted. Sellers should aim for a CR under 2.5% to avoid performance issues. VTR measures the percentage of orders shipped with valid tracking numbers as a percentage of total orders in a 30-day period. Aim for a VTR of at least 95% to avoid performance issues. You can also use this page to monitor your policy compliance. You can find violations, complaints, and warnings in this section. You can also check this section to learn if your account is at risk for deactivation. Remember, if your account is at risk for deactivation, it's still active, meaning that you can improve your performance to continue selling in the Amazon store. If your account is at risk for deactivation, an Amazon account health specialist can contact you via your emergency contact number. Because of this, we recommend always including emergency contact information within your notification settings. Check your account health metrics regularly to stay up to date on your performance.
You can find this webinar uploaded into Seller University. So if you just sort of see the GIF on the screen, which repeats, this is how you access Seller University. So you can access it through the navigation tab on the left or make your search in the upper right-hand side, and you'll be taken to Seller University. There's actually a webinars tab. So if you toggle over to that webinars tab there, you see upcoming webinars and you also see past webinars. Thanks everyone for your participation and hope you have a great day.